Okay, and head monk should make introduce talk. Actually, better to inspire our participants for follow our schedule, temple rules, and Dharma, maybe. Actually, the three things may be not different. Schedule, it's a kind of Dharma. Temple rules, it's too kind of Dharma. Temple rules is a schedule for the mind. The schedule just rules for the body and what we are doing every day. And maybe both of them, and Dharma, it's just schedule and rules. It's a teaching of head monk. I am not think like this, but head monk should think like this. Also, yesterday we are read temple rules. It's very simple rules. And interested, it's just rules which have not nothing special. I think it's just turn back us for very simple life. Last summer and last year, about 6 months, I spent in Russia, and I was living in some far Siberian place. I found some house in deep village in the forest, which actually not so far from big city. And I spent over there kind of soul retreat. And sometimes I should visit in big city for buy some what you need, food, equipment, and anything. And when I come to city, it's about 500,000 people, and I'm sitting in the taxi, and taxists in Russia, taxists speak a lot of, not like in Korean. In Korean, very very silent. They just driver. But in Russia, all taxists start to speak with you about everything immediately. I think it's a kind of European habit. And all the time when I sit in the taxi, I listen complaining about anything. In summer, it's too hot. In winter, it's too cold. If he have car, it's too not which he like. If good car, it's still not which he like. He want more and more. A lot of car, a lot of everything. Actually, every year, what I see in Russia, people live better and better, but they complaining more and more. They understood everything. They read the news, they read some websites, YouTube, anything. Actually, very smart people, and they have good mind. But they understood so well everything that they don't understand nothing. And okay, I listen to this all. It's actually a little bit crazy and difficult to listen to this. And after I buy everything, I jump to the train. 1 hour, and you in your place in this village, and people live in very simple life. And I go outside and go inside the village, meet some people, and I come back to paradise, because people never complain about nothing. They live very hard, work every day, not so hard, but not like in the city. They working by hand, in the garden, in the field, they make construction by yourself, everything. But when I met them, they never complain, never speak about politics, weather, anything. They just all the time joke, smile, make very interesting, discuss interesting what you're doing, how your life, what you do in your field, what you're growing, what is vegetable you have. Like this, but never complaining. You can speak with them maybe 40 minutes, very interesting. Oh, okay, for 40 minutes spent, but no complaining, no some bad things actually. Never. Maybe one time and 100 times, if something happens. They live in very, very simple life. Actually, they just do what is necessary, never do what is unnecessary, because they just have no time for this. They don't read news, don't speak with between other people because just no people around. If you need to speak to something, you need to go to 5 or 10 minutes by walk, but you have no time for this. And even you live in your house, actually mostly you're alone. You're living alone 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week. After 1 week, some people go, you listen. Even you listen, somebody walking. Who is this? And maybe you speak about how far with him, and he live, and few days again, nobody. Very similar to our temple rules, actually. And what I think, this temple rules actually just turn back us for this simple life, which make our mind simple. Maybe it's not enough for absolutely, but it's kind of ground for our practice, I think. Even these people who never met Dharma, they know religion, they absolutely simple living in the forest, they already have some kind of attractive energy. Energy, we can name it this energy. And this energy very, 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 very good. After, you're absolutely in this moment, and they actually absolutely in this moment, and they never speak like this and never thinking about this, but they're already in this point. And I think this temple was very helpful for us. And please follow this, and you will make head monk very happy.
Thank you, Ip Seung. Probably no need to set up Zen Center there, because they already. Actually, that's true. Some people don't really need, I think, to cultivate being simpler, because they're already simple. If they are actually very clear with what they are doing and no doubt about what they are going to do, then that's actually really, some natural already, this Dharma, Tao. Anyway, I will try to speak slowly if I can, so that she can translate for our another group of people. Just please remind me if I get too fast. Sometimes I get too excited. And so, already 4 days, I think, passed since it just like yesterday Kyolche started. But when did we start? 22, 3, 4, today is 25, so already 4th day. So Kyolche, 90 days, will just go past like this when you look back. And we all understand our life will pass like that also when we look back. So I truly, sincerely appreciate actually everyone came here and to find out some kind of meaning of life. This morning we had this short ceremony for Ip Seung's memorial. It was probably, our senior Sunims and some of you already heard a lot about story about him. And I have also some experience, personal experience practicing with him. And just, it was always quite amazing to see how he always live as if it's first moment or first time for him to deal with everything. So since, I have been sitting fully Kyolche for years, and then also working and participating in Kyolche for part-time for many times. And it's been like for about a little more than 20 years. And then sometimes I feel like, wow, it's just this Kyolche is just pretty much another Kyolche. Because I have been doing quite many times. Some of you already also have the same experience. But this morning when we bowed to Zema Sungsan's altar, that some very small memory popped up in my mind, like at the beginning of Kyolche when he gives this opening speech. It was such a fresh. Always I used to feel like this is the first Kyolche ever I'm going to go with. And it's not easy to keep that kind of, this fresh beginner's mind. If you have just started practicing, then anyway you are fresh. You are just a freshman about everything. Formal meal. It's quite fresh, right? It's kind of complicated freshness. And, practicing in other country, and meeting all these different kind of people, like monks and nuns, old people, young people. But maybe some of you here already have been practicing in this tradition for many years. That you have probably some I have too, so it's sometimes not easy to bring this beginner's mind back in this moment. And I guarantee from my experience, which Kyolche was every Kyolche is the best, but just generally saying. If the people who participate in this Kyolche, how many of them have this beginner's mind? It doesn't matter how long actually we practiced. But the important thing is actually how much do we keep this beginner's mind, just this freshness. Why do I come here? So that really differs. That makes a really big difference about this or that Kyolche. That's my experience. I see some of you really have this some motivation why you came here all the way, like from far distance. And even if you have been sitting Kyolche many times, you must have some reason why you ended up here. So I think this is a very important moment for everyone, this 90 days or 1 month or even 1 week. So regardless the length of time that you will sit this Kyolche, I think I really would like ask everyone to remind yourselves this beginner's, starter's mind of your practice. So anyway, is there any question? Does anybody have any question or Do you want to hear some more story?
So how do you bring back this beginner's mind you've been practicing a long time?
I'm not going to answer you. Sunim just asked, she threw a bodhisattva question. How do we bring beginner's mind? Yeah, so why do you practice? Why do you practice? So you were just right in front of me, that's it. So that's one good, I think it can be good technique that you can remind yourself, how do we bring our beginner's mind? Just ask yourself, why do I practice? And you don't have to just think about really big things, but just try to remember why you came here, why you decided to come here. I sometimes during Hyeje, I sometimes to watch some this audition program. I sometimes need entertainment during Hyeje, so I like this audition program, and then these singers, and I like how these judges comment on their performance. So usually I like to see the very young performers, not I also like age. I'm also aged quite now because I'm going to be 50, but I like to the very young, youngster performers, because it's hard to imagine how they can do that kind of performance in front of this huge audience. So it's you have to serve this rice in front of this all a stern face. How come? If it's 50 years old, 60 years old, I seem to understand, because they are all have a lot of experience. Doesn't matter. Maybe they even can fart in public. They can do everything, Korean ajumma housewives. We have this joke that in America they have Superman, in Japan they have Godzilla, in Korea we have these housewives. They are that strong people. Why? Because I just don't take it some gender discrimination. It's just about cultural and historical background, I think. But in Korea, a woman is supposed to be very shy. When they're single, a young, this beautiful woman. So they are very shy and very are quiet. They are not very expressive. And they are supposed to be very charming if you behave like that. In the past, not nowadays probably. So, but after they get married, they give birth, babies. They encounter all this kind of tough experience in life, and then just they don't care anything. What's the matter? So they become very strong, and then no shame. So we have that kind of joke. They can keep up with the Superman because they are mentally they are so powerful. But anyway, back to this audition program. So the reason why I like to actually watch these young performers, teenagers, How can? I have this, I remember when I was in like a school student, like a high school or even, I don't know, middle school, I have this some kind of karma if I'm on the stage. It doesn't have to be stage, but like in public, like now. I have this terrible, this nervousness. So I can really hear my heart is start beating like, and then I completely get lost because the sound is so big to my ear. I cannot like, sometimes there is a test in Korean, like middle school, high school, in musician class, you have to sing in the class, in front of all your friends. And I used to get really bad grade because I already think about it. I'm gonna stand in front of all my friends and sing. I'm quite good singer actually, even when I was a kid. but if I stand in front of people, I completely lose my mind. And how come the heart beating is so big? And I can't really breathe even, so then I really get worse, bad grade. So when I see these young performers in that huge public, wow, that's really amazing. But anyway, the reason why I started this story was about one of the judge. I told you I like the comment they make. How can these teenagers can sing like that, but it's not about these voice things. It's about they exactly understand what the emotion, feeling that the lyrics about. Probably after maybe 30s or 40s, they may catch that kind of feeling or emotion, even the lyrics, whatever about life or love. But these teenagers, they're 15, 16, 17, when they sing, they exactly seem to understand what it is about, this pain. And this one of the judges commented, some people say a 16 or 17 years old youngsters don't understand what the pain is about. But actually pain is just pain. So it doesn't matter actually what age you are. And actually I totally agreed. I really loved what he commented. So actually pain is pain. See, we have old people, young people, early 20s. Why everyone came here and doing exactly the same thing? It's not about age. And pain is pain. So the beginner's mind, how do we bring it back, to support your practice? Yeah, sometimes think about your pain. You don't need to actually think about your pain. They're always quite often painful, both physically and mentally too. And think about the pain, the suffering of this world. Terrible news, you watch some news or whatever, there are horrible things are happening always. Often you don't need to read those things to bring your beginner's mind back, but also just think about what you have been going through. So that's one technique, but I think that's also quite one of the primary kind of nature of human beings, this pain and suffering, so that we practice. Yeah. Any other question? No. 네.
Is it difficult or easy?
Oh, is it difficult? Easy? That looks quite easy to you because you're smiling. But actually, what is easy? What difficult?
Keeping beginner's mind.
Yeah. So what are you doing right now?
Already understand?
Don't. So I ask you.
Talking to you?
You're talking to me. So is that easy or difficult?
It's very difficult.
Very difficult. Is it very difficult?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so if you can just keep, as he just asked the question, no difficulty at all, right? If you can do everything, or you can just deal with all difficulties in life, just as you ask a question or talking to me right at this moment. If you can just do like that, then why difficult? But we understand these simple things not difficult, but when is not easy? When you have to deal with these emotion things, feeling. This morning, I think it was, I'm not very sure if there was, before morning sitting begins at 9 a.m. this morning, or there was during lunch break, I don't remember, but anyway, one of the time, today. I tried to take a nap, and just outside my room, the tea room is downstairs. Somebody was cracking to open this nut, walnut, because I was just about to, take a nap. And then I just, okay, hold on. So I just take a nap. But I don't know, that person didn't stop. How many nuts he had? And that exactly, I can tell you that was walnut. Walnut. So you have to really hammer it. Who was that? It's just outside my room, right? But I'm a practitioner, so and I have title teacher, so why do I get angry? I just try to get nap. But not because I was upset, because I just, that just happened. I had to go out of my room for some reason. I opened the door. It was Seonwonjeon Sunim. And it was not walnut. She was rearranging these pencils and very necessary for this Kyolche. She didn't make any mistake. she was doing her good job, and that was not wrong timing because it was right after, I think it was right after lunch. So it was not wrong time at all. But see how human's mind can really cheat yourself. I appreciate I practiced, otherwise I just immediately opened the door. But I a little held on, so I definitely thought there was someone is cracking, but no, truth is different. So your mind can keep cheating yourself. It's so powerful. So if you, like Sunim just said, how do we keep it? And he just answered, yeah, just talking to you. If you have that kind of simple mind, which we used to call don't know, then really that is powerful to take away all these deluded mind. Many times the trouble start. The suffering starts because you check yourself and the others, and you imagine, you add thought. Many times it's not true, but you believe that's true. Like, I believe that was wallet cracking sound. And then you think, this person do this because she hates me. Because that person hates me and try to disturb my napping. It happens so many times, and then that becomes really serious. Be careful for 90 days. If you're sitting 90 days, I've told some people shortly before this Kyolche, Dharma, when he was sitting in Shaolin cave for 9 years, he said, I never believed in even one thought arise in my mind for the 9 years. But that presents how much, how greatly our mind can cheat my true self. And then we create this all suffering first for myself, and then that also starts making the others suffering too. So it's very simple technique here, only don't know. It's not, when the simple kind of answering question, we say don't know, but some people are puzzled because you say don't know, then how can I even answer, or how can I even talk? It's because those people are still, I was one of them, those people are still stay in some conception about this don't know, that they take this don't know as the opposite meaning of I know. It's a still dualistic realm. And there is no way to attain this dilemma. Like, I keep don't know, how can I even answer? How can I even talk? How can I even recognize the floor is yellow? Because I don't know. That dilemma. Well, how can I chant if I keep this don't know? How can I even serve correctly this food during formal meal if I keep don't know? That kind of dilemma. It's because it's a misunderstanding about this true conception, meaning of this don't know that Dharma Sungsan teach. Because it's not about this opposite meaning of I know. It's about this becoming one. I mean, if I have to say in word, it's more like you become one with the situation. Don't know. Don't know is you, you are don't know. When you speak, speaking is you, you are the speaking. There is no such like subject, object, separated. So that's why always he said, only don't know. Keep going straight. Become one with the situation, moment to moment. And that means you 100% be there. So that's the true meaning of this don't know. That's why you can speak, you can clearly see the color of this floor, you can clearly do what you are doing at that moment. So as a teaching word, this don't know can be substance. But as we learned, what is there? Substance very strong. Whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you smell, everything become truth. And then what to do at that moment becomes very clear. So that is about don't know. Just shortly, a few days before this Kyolche started, because I just talk about don't know this, I want to share this story. So a few days before this Kyolche started, Taekwan Sunim was here, Zemes Taekwan from Hong Kong. And then a group of Korean ladies who used to come, a group of Korean ajumas, they are very strong. It's housewives from Seoul. They're like age 60, middle of 60s, very, very strong people. They all already raised all children. They really like Musangsa. But they don't really practice in our style. But they just love all this Musangsa family and, Sungsan Sunim. And so every month, once a month, they come down here. But if we are in this kind of formal Dharma talk, they are sitting there and listening to, one of the teachers. Then I can see they cannot really connect with what we are talking about. They don't really like this kind of Dharma talk, or whenever we talk about how important practice is, they don't really like it. But they just love, Musangsa, Sunims, the family, and everything. So they always come on some months, never skip, never miss. And then when Taekwan Sunim was here last week, was it last week? Anyway, I think it was last Sunday. And then they invited Taepong Sunim, Taekwan Sunim, Myungan Sunim, and myself to restaurant, Italian restaurant for dinner. And then they don't speak English. So, and our 3 other Sunims don't speak Korean. I mean, Myungan Sunim do some, but probably not these petty things like all this detail. So 3 of them sit here. I was sitting in the middle, and this a group of Posalim sitting just next to me. And then it was my just feeling at the time, because they are offering dinner. So we want a little kind of, I don't know, because they are all, 4 of us all kind of, kind of position, teach now. So maybe we should give some kind of good talk or speech. That was my feeling, because in return, in gratitude, because they're offering this nice meal. And they understand 2 of them are Zen masters, and we are kind of also such some positions. So I thought they may expect, but I don't know what to say. And of course, they cannot communicate each other, right? So after all this, like, oh, what's your family and what's your name, those things finish and no talk. And then we a little started to talk about practice. And then one of the lady, a little brave, she started sharing what she has been experiencing about practice. Then it a little kind of boosted this energy, this kind of gathering. And then suddenly another lady, she's really kind of character, and she's very expressive. And then she told us, whenever I come to Musangsa, like all the teachers always talk about don't know. But I don't really connect with that. And sometimes I think actually, because they always talk about don't know, I sometimes tell myself, they maybe don't know either. But she really expressed it. And then at the moment, we all just burst laughing. Actually, for a few seconds, we couldn't stop laughing. I don't know, maybe if my experience in Korea, if some lay member say to this Zen master, maybe you also don't know. Oh, that can be quite big moment. But 4 of us were completely connected with the speech. Because it really doesn't matter about how much I know. If you just put all these ideas down, then you can just connect with the moment, with everyone. So that experience is very important. Now, I think for newcomers, you learn a lot of these new forms. It's quite, irritating because it's all learning about form is not actually easy and fun at all. But actually, Ip Seung really made a good point that, I don't know if I understood correctly, you said schedule is Dharma. Schedule is Dharma. That's really a good point. Schedule is Dharma. Schedule, our schedule, daily schedule. Okay, like 4 a.m. we get up, 4:25 we do 100 all together. This all daily schedule itself is actually Dharma. That's very true. Because it's not about how good you are about this old form or those things. It's all about, I think, if you can just do it or not. So if you just simply following all the schedule and just try to perform what you are learning here, then that's already actually true Dharma. It's not very special things. See what is very special in your life. Well, actually, for me, a very special thing is when I find out, realize how important it is what I'm doing right now, like in my life, like my situation, how important, and then also how much I can really perform for myself and for others. That is really special. Because many things that I think special, like when I watch something in the movie, things that never happens. But everything what I'm doing here actually happens. So that is special because that is really yours. So in the beginning, learning like all this form, if you are a newcomer, not easy. Actually, I concern, usually after 1 or 2 weeks, you become so good with all the forms. And then start being bored because there are nothing more to learn, or like you have to be really awakened. So then a lot of thinking start appearing. So anyway, when you can learn, just to learn like sincerely as much as you can do. I got this email from one lady. She's not Korean. And many years, I actually even didn't know, but when she wrote me, I remembered who she is. And she told me she's Chinese doctor. She's Westerner, but she's Chinese doctor. And before she started working as a doctor, for a few years, she was living in a very interesting place, in a desert. And she was a guide. It's a kind of reserve nature center. They try to preserve some nature. So she was kind of volunteering to reserve this, I think the desert or some nature. She said that it's really tough, the climate, so there are a lot of canyons and cliffs there. And her job was, at that time, the new guide candidates come once a year, these candidates to become the guide. and she was helping them. So like here, the older guide, they help the new this staff who will actually become guide in a couple of years. And what they do is they let them, the newcomers, to just navigate the desert by themselves, like one by one. And then they are kind of watching them from very far distance. And they never actually give them help. They are not supposed to give them help. But only when they are really in dangerous situation, then they try to help. So one day, she and one of her work partner, they were taking care of one candidate, this newcomer, new guide. So because they were not supposed to just help directly, or they actually are supposed to be hidden so that they don't know actually some kind of guide or protector are following themselves. And this young woman who just came for the training, like she started navigating, and the one of my friends and her partner were like kind of following her, this newcomer, hiding themselves. But this new candidate was got lost so many times, and they had to go so far. But they try not to just pop up and help her for many hours. Unless she really get in dangerous situation. But then they started thinking, wow, this lady will just work whole night, and then maybe we will have to do the same. So they start to be a little scared. And then my friend, she used to practice in quantum school, so she suggested to the working partner, that why don't we, humans' energy is very interesting, so if she's about to just, get in some dangerous spot, why don't we maybe send our energy? Like probably the wind will, she's a little kind of, but she was very sincere, so why don't we maybe send our energy, then stop her to, go forward. And then really that happened. This newcomer was just about to step on very dangerous kind of a direction if she steps another step in other direction. And then before that, my friend, she was only whispering to the partner, and it was just about to be very dangerous. No! So they saw this newcomer just turn around. But of course, she didn't see these two people. But exactly, she saw on her face that she realized that she was in danger. So she turned to other direction. I'm sorry? Huh? The newcomer, the new candidate, they saw, my friend saw on her face, when she heard this shouting, maybe I shouldn't go this way, so she turned around.
So she shouted?
Huh?
Did she shout?
No. The friend, they kind of tried to send their energy kind of with whispering, maybe by the wind.
So
But
she didn't shout it for you.
maybe I wasn't clear to talk about this. So okay, so this newcomer, candidate who wants to become this guide, they have part of their training. They have to navigate, this desert by themselves. But there is always about 2 senior guide who have a lot of experience, and the guide, one of the guide, the senior is my friend who wrote me. And then they were just, kind of following this newcomer, hiding themselves. And then because this newcomer was so much like wandering around and also can be dangerous, they decided, my actual friend suggested the partner that why don't we send her some energy, whispering, that maybe the wind carry it to her, so when she about to step in dangerous spot, that maybe she realized this is a mind-to-mind kind of energy in the flow. But then when really this newcomer was just about to step on dangerous, the direction, then my friend just shouted. She was not supposed to make a sound, but just, instinctively, she just shouted, "No!" Then that person just turned around. Of course, she couldn't see, but that happened. So it doesn't matter it's visible or invisible. I think we talked about something about, you talked about Dharma, about, what was that about? This, a schedule is Dharma. So, doesn't matter, it's physical or psychological, or it's about mental or mentality, or it's about body. Because sometimes we think a lot about, to improve my practice, to improve my spirituality, I have to do 30,000 bow, or I have to chant maybe 18 hours out of 24 hours, or maybe I have to, So, and then we got confused. So, making effort with my body really improve my spirituality. And it was just like my friend, that this, our energy will probably help her, but eventually this physical sound helped her, this newcomer. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not about schedule or form or body or mentality. What's important to make? Let's say that's enlightenment. Let's say some kind of fulfillment, happiness. Must I really give myself this kind of pain, physical pain, lack? Because it's all about actually this mind. You will end up, you will probably face that kind of dilemma sooner or later. So one of the best techniques, if you face that kind of dilemma, so as he said, the reason why I brought up this scheduled Dharma is because it's about just doing it. It's about just doing it. Don't just get puzzled between this or that. Is it a mind or a body? Right? Is this about form or like a mind? Maybe 공안 interview is more important than 100-day bow, or this for all the form during formal meet is less important than my mantra. We can create all these kind of opposite and dualistic dilemmatic, these matters. So the point is you just do it. We already made all the plan, schedule. The thing, important thing is if you can just do it or not. So I hope everyone experience this just doing it. Even if many kind of questions appear with that about the way of practice or method, you just doing it is very important. Okay, I almost forgot it. So we actually wanted to use this chance to a little instruct people. Actually, I started because of the problem about the form. One form that we want to share is in the night at the end of the sitting. So one of the teachers will go around with a stick and they hit everyone. At every Kyolche, actually, we find some people don't really connect with that, so maybe not very comfortable. So just wanted to share, it's kind of symbolic, very brief ceremony, very symbolic, brief ceremony at the end of the day. So, you sit whole day, probably you have a lot of thinking, right? So we try to help you not to carry it to your bed. Actually, one very funny story. One of the Kyolche last years, one girl was sitting Kyolche, and then I usually hit everyone at the end of the sitting. And then one time she asked me to a little talk. And then she asked me, Sunim, could you, at the end of the sitting, could you hit me very softly? Because if you hit a little hard, then, I completely wake up, so I cannot sleep. I cannot sleep in the night. Well, I don't know what to say for that, but so that means actually she wanted to carry this feeling, the sleepiness, and then she can sleep well in the bed. So she was asking me, don't wake me up. Then I have trouble to sleep well in the night. But our practice is always try to, actually if you sleep even 3 hours, 4 hours very clearly, deeply, then you are much less tired. But if you actually, this is my real experience, at the last moment in the day, the last sitting, you completely nodding and really struggle with the sleepiness. Guarantee you never get good sleep in the night. At least to me. Some people may be different, but if you have really struggle, doesn't matter your mind or physically, you have a horrible time the last sitting, and especially with the sleepiness. I never got good sleep in the night. If I was clear in the sitting, at least the last sitting, I go to bed. Maybe it takes a little time to get off sleep, but next morning, much better. So anyway, I didn't tell this girl about that. I a little hit the kind of softer. But anyway, the meaning for that is when one of the teacher hit you, everybody at the end of the sitting, cut off all the thinking you had to deal for today, and then go to the bed. It's a kind of encouragement, a very symbolic, brief ceremony. So the way we do, we just want newcomers to learn correctly so that you guys can also teach others in the future. So maybe you can show. I'm sleepy. You can. You can. He's now me at the end of the sitting teacher. Sometimes Hye Tong Sunim do. I do. If I'm not here, Myunghan Sunim do. So and when you understand he's now just stand behind me, then we bow together. This ceremony very respectable. It's not about the teacher just one way teach you. Teacher also bow together. And then you bend your back like this. And then 2 times. Too soft. Or you can, if you want to get hit on your muscle, you can just like this. Yeah. So then the teacher will hit 2 times, right? And then after hit, we bow together again. Okay? Very simple, very respectable. It's great ending of your day. It's not about like, I'm teacher, so I hate you. It's not about that. We just, hope you remind yourself, I have a lot of thinking today, but at this moment, at least at this moment, I'm free for this. I'm free from this old illusion. I go to bed, okay? So I hope everyone remember. And hope everyone have great retreat. Thank you.